Welcome everyone to Raja Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing today? And we are ending the week. The good news, we are up for the week. The bad news, unfortunately, we are down today. But we've had a strong rally back from where we were, and very pleased about that. Up over $1 million. We were up almost $1.5 million, or $1.7 million from where our lows, but it's been a little battle this end of the week here and stuff, but still looking good on everything. Like what we're doing, like where CCIV is going. That's our largest holding. IDEX today fell off but that's okay. We got that hedge in there at a higher price. And then we still got Jaguar. It's still up from its lows, but of course down a little bit. But lots going on. We'll talk about it. Also, guys, Twitter tanked. What do you guys think of that? Do you think it's because Donald Trump, they banned him? Well, think about it. If Donald Trump every day tweeted once, twice, 5 times a day, and he had 100 million people looking at his tweets, think about how much money is he losing? How much money they're losing by people not looking at his tweets and the views, plus just how entertaining it was. So we'll talk about that later on. And Bitcoin is surging again. Not sure why. Who knows why? Maybe because Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live this Saturday night. I guess he was the best comedian that they could find to host the show or actor. But it'll definitely be interesting. Probably so. I'm hoping maybe Dogecoin spikes. This could be. Is this a buying opportunity for the Dogecoin? But we'll talk about that too. See what's going on. But let's start. Take a look, guys. Unfortunately for me, I was down $300,000 today. My account, like I said, it's going to move heavily because I have 340,400 contracts, which is 340,000 shares of CCIV. So if it goes up a point, I'm going to go up 340,000. If it goes down a point, I'm going to go down 340,000. So it's definitely going to be. It's definitely going to move. So definitely going to see some big numbers and some excitement. But a couple of things today. So this Connect TV, which has a name change, unfortunately that was down 3-4 cents. So that's not updated correctly, but that will be down again. IDEX, I mean, this was crazy today. This stock was all the way down, came all the way up, and then went all the way back down at the end of the day. So closed right near its lows. But yeah, I mean, this thing moved. I didn't know why. Jaguar today, actually down a penny, so not too bad. And same with CCIV today, guys. It was crazy. CCIV today was all the way up. Oops. Came all the way up to 2203, and it was started way down, came all the way up, and then came way down again. So it's been crazy watching this stuff. And then GameStop today was down a couple of points. But of course, as usual, the market maker just tanks, the options and pricing. But we're gonna nail this one. So I did sell a couple of the 110s for next week and started doing a little stuff. Unfortunately, the CCIV position, I was debating what to do on it. It actually, for the week from where we sold them, we made a profit on it. And I looked at closing it out earlier today when it was down, it was like 30-40 cents a contract when CCIV was around $22. And then I said, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to let it get put to me. So starting tomorrow, for Monday, we're going to own 20,000 shares of CCIV in the account again. A couple of things. I'm either going to sell a call against it like we've done with IDEX and taken the profit, or hopefully it just maybe it goes up a point. I'll get out. If it's above $22, I'll just get out of it. But I definitely need to free that cash up to use it so I can hedge GameStop better. Or I need to do something to free cash up somewhere in the account if I want to hedge GameStop and sell higher strike prices of the puts. So definitely some stuff to look at. But like I said, everything's good. I think CCIV is going to be $30, $40 in June when they go with the name change, and have a lot of faith in it, and I like it. On the other side, guys, you're not going to believe this. Kenny and the research team, they were up again today. So they're on a hot streak, and this is from Kenny. They went from being down almost $15,000. Well, they were up at one point almost $5,000. Went to being down $15,000 from the 100 they started with, and now they're back up to about $2,500. So a great turnaround for Kenny. Had a bunch of runners this week. He had one CPSL. Was like a 3,000% gain. So really good pick on that one. And he's got a ton of other ones, definitely on our Patreon page, guys. Make sure you read his weekly recaps and daily recaps. Lots of stuff running and stuff. He's really curious to see how these new tickers do with this CTYX, which is now CUBT, VXIT, The CPSL, this is the one he owns from the point oh two to point oh four, and it got to 45 cents today. So just crazy. But he says, have a great weekend. I'll be back at you Monday. Unless something big pops over the weekend, you should hear about it. So definitely had a great week. And God, I mean, when you can find one that moves 3,000%, that's just insane. You can make so much money so fast. I know a lot of our Patreon members did really good with Kenny and his picks this week. So big shout out to our Patreon members. And of course, YouTube sponsors watching who have access to those really cool emojis in chat and stand out in the chat. But guys, any of our Patreon members, make sure you get added to that private Facebook group because that is where Kenny puts all his trades. I put all my trades on the Patreon page itself, but all of Kenny's stuff is in the Facebook group. But yeah, it's just a crazy week and so many stocks at play. I wonder how many total shares are in this account. I mean, he's got like, I mean, these are little small 50, but still 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000. So the account must be, we got like 25 million shares of stuff in here. So lots of stuff in play, like you can see something, but just a terrific week overall. Unfortunately today, the markets were way down. The Dow Jones way down, S&P 500 way down, NASDAQ way down. So a little pullback. I think people are just taking some profits and stuff. But the big one today that really got hammered was Twitter. So, you know, this is interesting. This is not a political thing, but this is very interesting. Where do you draw the line as a business of, you know, freedom of speech, obviously hate crimes, or, you know, causing a riot? Where do you draw the line as a business? And of what do you do? So, you know, if you started banning every time, you know, I understand, you know, like, especially if it's, you know, kiddie porn or anything like that, you got to ban that stuff immediately. But, you know, this was at the time the president of the United States. You know, imagine if Instagram was to, you know, ban all the Kardashians because of something. How many views a day does an account with 100 million followers get? And like I said, if he tweeted, you know, once or 5 times a day, that's, you know, 5 times a day, because most people, when you go to social media and you get a notification, hey, somebody just tweeted something, you look at other stuff. You don't just look at the tweet and stop. You may spend a minute, 5 minutes looking at other stuff there. So, it's definitely very interesting. But, you know, like Trump said, he'll, you know, come out with his own maybe thing one day, or I honestly don't expect a lot. I don't know. He's either going to come back and run for office or president or do something drastic again, or he'll probably just, you know, be happy, retire, and, you know, take it easy. It'll probably be how hard his kids push him, or if anybody aggravates him where he needs the attention. But but like I said, this is a business. You're running a business. You're a company. You know, Twitter. You know, you can say whatever you want. At least it's not a political debate. When he was tweeting heavily, Twitter, before he took office, Twitter was on a downturn. I mean, he really boosted Twitter. My kids never used Twitter, but they wanted to follow, they wanted to see his tweets. Then they want to see who makes fun of his tweets and all the reactions and the comments. He definitely made a big impact on Twitter. So they can say what they want, but and obviously, as you can see, everyone may have thought, how great it was at Twitter to ban him at the time, this or that. But you can see by their stock price today and the huge drop that all those people who were so for this didn't support it. So interesting. Like I said, what do you do with that kind of stuff in business in the future? Bitcoin is just soaring today again, coming way back from those $48,000, $49,000 lows after the 64,000 high. So pretty good. Dogecoin, 34 cents, coming back. Like I said, Elon Musk hosting Saturday Night Live. Seems like a very unlikely person to host the show, but he's hosting it, outside of his paid cameos in movies and stuff. So definitely will be interesting. But what do you guys got? What else? Mark says GameStop going to the moon. Didn't go to the moon today. Actually was down a couple of points, and I think we're going to start seeing a big drop in GameStop next week. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings and stuff out there, so should be pretty interesting. Shane says, let's see. Shane says, so if everyone follows your trades at the moment, our last few weeks, they all must be losing their money because all I ever see is you're down. Well, Shane, if you've actually been following my trades, the research team is up, and I'm up for the week, $700,000. So, I was down yesterday and today, but we had 2 massive days, especially the $700,000 day I was up. That those days like that make up for a lot, but Thank you, Shane, for your uneducated comment, but I just wanted to share that. So, Ren Slots, I am owned Twitter for years. Jack needs to leave. So, Satoshi Raja, do you have a pick in the Derby? I do not. So that's all. That's all. The Click Father. That's what we should have probably got the Click Daughter on the show because she obviously is the Click Father, and the Click Father owns a couple of horses, so it should definitely be interested. Jeff Schwartz, rocket fuel loaded for FAMI, 2,000 shares at 32 cents. Fought off the bad day. Market turns positive. This should fly. CCIB for the rebound too. That's good. Yeah, Jeff posted in there about that FAMI and that one today. Where did that close at? FAMI up 44 cents, up 8 cents. So nice. Made $200 on that one. Nice. How's oh, look at this one for you. Bingo, BNGO. How'd that one do? So you got back. Oh my God, 637, 640 close. Look at that one, the BNGO. Well, hopefully on that one you averaged down because I know you said that one at 7, but that thing, that was crazy. It just got pounded from $14 highs, 14.15. So, following any telephone stocks, none currently. So, let's see. Paul, up or down? Unfortunately, the Raja was down today, but the research team was up. The research team is like on 7 or 8 days straight of winners, and they've got some huge boomers next week that they're ready to see pop. So hopefully they're gonna. I'm hoping they're gonna share one of their 3,000% ones with me. So hopefully, somebody says, Justin, how come GameStop is staying so high? There's a couple of reasons why it could be staying so high. One is you need sellers and you need buyers. There's probably just not a lot of, the people who own it right now probably just aren't selling it, aren't buying it. It's really hard to say. The thing is, I think where it's going to really tank is on some earnings. When they come out with first quarter losses and, because like I said, at the end of the day, they still have 5,000 stores they have to figure out something to do with and close. And they have to, transition and do these things. And if they don't do them, they're going to start losing money on those areas. Obviously, online, it's hard to lose money, but you do have customer acquisition costs and the cost to build it up. They also haven't really identified what they're going to do online that's going to be so great. Like I said, what are they going to sell online that's not already being sold at Best Buy, that's not already being sold directly from, Microsoft, Xbox, or, video game makers, or on, Steam, or, where you can download the games? You don't really need them because you can go to the consoles and buy the games and download it directly to the consoles. So, GameStop's big thing was, and that's the other thing is, this was one of the big profit years because you had 2 new gaming consoles. You're not going to have new gaming consoles, like Xbox and PlayStation, for probably 3 or 4 more years, maybe longer. So it's definitely going to have to be, it'll definitely be interesting what they're going to do. Like I said, I want to see everybody be successful in business. I just don't see what they're going to pivot to online that's going to just create this, company that's worth $18 billion at this stock price. It's ridiculous. And they know that. There's nobody, there's no educated person who thinks GameStop is a great buy at $180 a share. At $20, $30, $40, $50 on the high side, it may be a great investment, but it's not, they don't have the growth potential. This isn't like Tesla where they're worth 900 or 700 times earnings because there's a future there. So it'll definitely be interesting what happens with that one. But also in other news, Tesla today was on fire. So not sure why. Whole market tanks. Tesla tanks while the market's going up. Market goes up and market tanks and Tesla goes up. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do and stuff. So. Fire says, my casino stocks aren't doing so good. Your thoughts? A lot of the casinos should be doing good. Monarch yesterday, they had blowout earnings. They did incredible, up 5 points. They're up a little bit more today even, all-time highs and everything. But, the casinos are packed. Vegas is packed. I was booking some flights for some of my trips to Vegas coming up. And, the prices are through the roof. I'm like, who the hell is buying a flight 2 months out, and it's $600 round trip. So it'll definitely be interesting. But yeah, overall, the gaming the stock sector today was just down. It's just people are taking profits. Another thing still is you have high P&Es in some of these. Penn Gaming was one that that thing really took off. And you still have a lot of stuff going on. You have the online gaming stuff, and like I said, I think today was just a profit taking day. You're gonna have those fluctuations in the market, so it'll definitely it doesn't always happens and stuff. Hey Raja, how long do you think the chip shortage affecting Apple stock will last? I don't think the chip shortage is such an issue really with Apple stock. So a couple of things. The Apple and the amount of chips that they buy or produce is far greater than an automaker produces. And what I've been told is they lock in purchases for a lot more volume of chips than the automaker. So they actually have better supply chains and better productivity and stuff than, like, unfortunately Ford's going to suffer and some of those other ones. Because you think about it like this, they're going to sell, I don't know, off the top of my head, is it like 50 million phones or something crazy this year. Ford's going to sell, 3 million cars, or the percentage is much greater for Apple, and they have a lot better supply chains and all that stuff locked in. There was an interesting story about it on CNBC a couple of months ago when the whole chip shortage and everything started. I think the biggest thing really weighing on Apple is just the negative news with the whole App Store. And now this new thing with the antitrust in Europe and stuff today, saying that Apple could be responsible. Let's see if we can find it. Well, they have this Apple trial, the bounties, but the UK today said something about Apple should be, Apple legal woes mount as EU watchdog files these antitrust charges. So, this is interesting. You have a product, I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on this? You own a product, it kind of be like this. Let's say Let's say I own a nightclub or a bar, and I want to produce, or you're like a brewery, right? Like a microbrewery. A lot of microbreweries, they don't carry any other products but their own, right? So if you went to a microbrewery and you wanted to buy, a beer, they make 3 or 4 different beers, and they own them all. Okay, and then that's why you go there, they make those beers. And they don't carry Budweiser, they don't carry any of that. Well, Budweiser doesn't go and sue a microbrewery and say, you're not carrying my product. It's my business, I can do what I want. When for example, the Pepsi Center we had here in Colorado, now they just changed it to Ball Arena, which I think is about the worst name I've ever heard of, calling something Ball Arena. But the Pepsi Center sounded much better. But when you went to the Pepsi Center, they only carried Pepsi, they didn't carry Coke. If you go to McDonald's only carries Coca-Cola products. Pepsi isn't suing McDonald's and saying you have to offer Pepsi and Coke. Stores have a choice. You have a choice with the Apple Store. The Apple's, if you don't want to put your game on the Apple Store, you know what percentage they take. The issue is, and Apple is providing a product, same and Google, same with their operating systems on the Android store. They're providing and giving you the software, they're running a store, they're making sure, like on our big Jackpot slot app, that everything's legal, that we're not doing anything wrong. They're doing all the billing, all the collections, all the refunds, all the customer service, and they take 30% for doing all that. The issue is, what is a fair percentage? Well, who is that really to decide? I guess if I'm not happy with Apple, I don't have to have my app on the App Store. And also, Apple, if I was to have direct payments where I said, send me $100 and I'll send you your boosters, or if Candy Crush said, send me $100 and we'll send you, Candy Crush, boosters, Apple wouldn't make any money, and it would, obviously the margins would be much better for the game people, but they wouldn't make any money. So the big question is, where does somebody stand in having something? Now, the new thing with Apple is with Spotify, and this is the whole big thing with Europe, is Spotify saying, look, we're number one music out there, but Apple, you own your own music service, you're pushing your own music service, we have an unfair advantage against you because every transaction that we do on Apple's store, you're taking 30%. Every transaction, if I buy a member, which I have a membership for the Apple Music for $14.99 a month for me and my kids, that we all share. Does Apple charge themselves 30%, or do they have a better royalty pool? That's where they're saying there's an unfair advantage. So certain apps that people produce, Apple also produces and owns those apps. So it's kind of like when you go to Costco, or for example, Costco, they have the Kirkland brand. So if you go in, and you're at Costco and I sell, mayonnaise, or I don't know, I sell Chef Boyardee ravioli, but then you have Kirkland Kirkland ravioli, and it's $2 a thing cheaper. Now, interesting enough, if you look a lot of times at the packaging and the information on the packages, most of the stuff that Kirkland sells is produced by the other people. This is kind of like, generic drugs, or, this is like buying Advil or buying, generic Advil. It's the exact same thing, but one of them is always less money. Overall, if you buy the Kirkland brand, it's always less money, but it's most of the time, like I said, it's manufactured by the same companies, because Kirkland goes to those companies and says, either you're going to make this product for us, or we'll find somebody else who will. So they probably want to make it, plus they want to keep your stuff in the store. So the big interest is, how do you navigate that? So same with Amazon has their own products now. Amazon, like I bought when with Jolene working out, I bought her some weights. Well, Amazon has their own health stuff. They have their own weight. They have random products. Well, and this is the whole thing, and this is why Amazon also has some lawsuits or issues going on with it. Because think about this: if Amazon knows every product, same with Costco, they know every product that they sell the most of, what has the best margins, what everybody's buying. And if they just take, so, let's say Amazon, everybody was buying masks, right? Everyone's buying masks on Amazon. So Amazon comes out with their own mask, charges, 50 cents less, and all they do is push, under suggested, is push their mask. So same thing, when I went and looked at Amazon for a kettlebell, all they push is Amazon Health. Well, I didn't even know Amazon made. I was shocked, because I was like, Amazon's making, kettlebells? What would that do? So this is where these companies have to be very careful. Let's see here. So let me pull this up for you. All right. So I just put in Amazon, and I said kettlebell. I spelled it wrong, but kettlebell. So Amazon was smart enough to figure it out. So you have this one here that's a sponsored one that somebody's paying money for. But look here, bestseller, #1 choice. And it's not even sponsored, right? Oh, Amazon Basic Cast Iron Kettlebell. Well, who sells this? Amazon. What are the best sellers? Amazon. Then yes, all. So notice how Amazon is #1 for everything here. So, like I said, I didn't even know Amazon had, this whole thing. Well, the next big thing that they're doing is the pharmacy business. Now, interesting enough, I actually looked on Amazon with the whole pharmacy business, and I found that their prices were actually more expensive, and it's also a real pain if you want to try and use that RX card, which I still haven't figured that one out. How you go to a pharmacy, they want to charge you like $40 for a prescription, but then you just go to that RX card site and they have it, for $8 or the discount codes. But yeah, so if you look at this, and who the seller is, it's visit the Amazon Basic store. So Amazon is producing and selling their own products. Well, this is home improvement. Look at all these products here that they're selling and competing with everyone against on Amazon. So this is where companies sometimes get too greedy. What is enough? Where do you draw the line on profits, and how much profits does any of that stuff even equal? For a company, how many kettlebells is Amazon going to sell? And how much money is that going to make them? That was just that big of a business. So, and like I said, companies have to grow and they have to figure out stuff, and it'll be very interesting with all these lawsuits. Unfortunately, the lawsuits cost a lot of money and they also last a long time. But this Apple lawsuit's moving pretty fast, and it's already almost been a year, with the whole lawsuit with the gaming company against Apple, and it's going to be interesting. What happens in that? I own a private network. If you come into my business, I can do what I want. If I don't, I have the right to refuse service to you. I have the right to do everything like that. And so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how all that plays out over time. Like I said, But I mean that's a big part of Apple's business. Imagine. But like I said, I don't know where the government. So if everyone could circumvent Apple's billing system and just have their own, also on the App Store for Apple, well, what would be the purpose of Apple running an App Store? If everybody had their own billing system and cut Apple out, Apple would be like, all right, well then have a free for all. We'll let all these apps crash, do whatever. We don't care. So. It'll definitely be interesting what happens in this case, and it also is where does the government stand, and with doing stuff. I believe in competition. I believe in coming up with new ideas and new things, but you can't just destroy everybody else at the same time. How much do you take? For profits and stuff. So it'll definitely be interesting, but. Not to worry, it will all work out for these companies and they still will make lots of money. But hey guys, this is Raja Makes Money. Don't forget Sunday, we'll have our weekly update, see how the markets are looking going into Sunday. But congratulations to Kenny and the research team. They had another winning day today. So it's like 7 days straight, they're on fire. Unfortunately for me, I was down a little bit today, but that's okay. We will bounce back, and we're still up for the week, 600-700 grand, so still very happy. But everything's looking good. It's a slot machine. Simon, do you think Amazon stock will crash with the way that they are going? No, I think Amazon's going to do okay. You may see some, profit taking. At some time, this market's going to pull back. We're going to get a big drop at some point. It's going to pull back and stuff. So it'll definitely be interesting. Michael, do you ever think about hanging it all up and retiring early? If you did, what would you do? Invest, travel? So definitely have thought about that, but I would be bored to death and wouldn't know what to do with my time. So always like to do something, but I may take a little time off, work on my health, get it back in shape, and just doing stuff. But long term, I would be bored out of my mind. So, but hey guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you follow me. Let your friends, let your neighbors know. Let everyone know about Raja Makes Money. And thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I'll see everybody Sunday for the weekly update show. Take care, guys, and enjoy your weekend. And I hope you all made a lot of money in the markets this week.